Hello, welcome to Impact Africa, our online talk show, where we get to have conversations with diverse people and organizations who are positively impacting lives and communities, and as well sharing their own story. So this is Mama Kemi Akiode Adebayo, and in today's episode, I'm the only one in the studio, and today's one is just for us to round up, celebrating our women in South Africa. We all know in August we celebrate our women because on the 9th of August each year the government declared, all celebrating our women with 4 women who marched to the parliament in Pretoria. Wow, what a month this has been for us at Impact Africa. We've been having such wonderful conversation with awesome and amazing women who are representing and flying the flag for us women. And at the same time, we decided to celebrate our men who are supporting our women. We know, yes, most of the time, the stories we hear, especially with the increase of gender-based violence, that people are struggling and with men and some of what they're doing and young boys what they're doing. However, we do acknowledge and know we still do have what we term he for she men who are being the rockstone, the backbone, of some of our women. So yes, we've had such an amazing time. We've had conversation with different people in different backgrounds. We've had doctors, we've had pastors, we've had councillor, we've just had various community activists, who we've heard their stories. If you missed any of them, you just need to go back and watch. So we will just kind of show you a small highlight of some of our conversation with some of them, a very short one. We'll be right back.
So being a woman is very complicated, really. It starts when you are born. You are born with so much pressure on you. It all starts when hormonal changes occur when you first get your period. And in order to improve your health long term, you really need to start looking after your body early. And that's what you're saying. And for us peri 50 people, we really wish we had started earlier, but certainly from 45 to 55, the body changes significantly. It changes physically, it changes emotionally. The pressures on the body are just magnified. The emotional impact of getting to the end of your reproductive career, the hormonal factors, because now you're going through the perimenopause, and that ranges from 45 to 55. And I'm sure for those who are our age, Kemi, they will know what we're talking about. That after 45, things go downhill significantly. And the problem is that initially with the menopause, you just have the simple symptoms in terms of hot flushes, not being able to sleep, very irritable, mood swings, night sweats, a little bit of headaches. But it's the long-term impacts that are more important, because the short-term impacts, the as we call it, the vasomotor symptoms of hormones changing, can be managed. It can be managed by adjusting your diet. There's a lot of talk about yam and soya. There's a lot of talk around with hot flushes to wear only cotton attire, to have a little fan, to have a little spritzer just to make you feel better. And we can adjust those with hormones as well. But long term, there's a lot of talk always in the media, and there've been so many medical changes in terms of what we do, because we've been so worried about breast cancer. But really, there are other things that are protected by taking hormones. And those things are brain protection. So in terms of estrogen dependent or deficiency dementia, there are protective effects on the heart to reduce the risk of heart attacks. There's positive effects once again on the blood vessels in the brain to reduce the effects on all the complications with strokes, and then also bone protection.
I always, if I want to train a woman, we've got a soft way, we've got a soft approach to actually become to where we have to be. We got to be. We don't have to join the fight. We can be that little new growth that just gets in there, and once we're there, they don't realize how, but then we can make the impact as women. So that is my motto in life, Kemi, and I love painting stories from life, and I love painting beautiful women.
Wow, some painting.
Beautiful flowers. So I am unapologetically a woman and happy to be one.
I agree, and that's a lot, obviously you're doing there with the coaching, other women, tapping into their talent and their skills, the counseling for the children, that you're doing, that story about, that farmer, there, I've heard of it in a different format, but it's so kind of like an eye-opener. So how do you juggle, all this role as a grandmother, as a, mother, as a wife, as, a woman supporting other women? How do you juggle it? Or what tips can you give us on how to juggle role? I was just sharing with you, my own lifestyle. I always tell people, well, you need to get a balance. And I'm like, well, my balance could be like this today, where it's fun and work. And tomorrow it's going to be like this. So what tips, or nudges can you give people like me, and other people out there who struggle with juggling, the the different hats we women, play. You get back from work, you have to continue cooking, and you've got a child, if you have young ones, what tips or nudges can you share, with us?
Kimi, that truly is a difficult one for women because we are really just about everything. We are like a machine. We do it and we can do it and then we do it. But that is the thing is, you mentioned balance, but you know what? Sometimes we are so busy and we don't realize we just kept going. But to come into the awareness of your body and let your body tell you, you have to stop. Before that, we must realize, the Jews has a very good day. They call it Shabbat. And that is a time of rest. It doesn't, it can be that is a principle that is very important. So do your stuff, go and do everything that you want to do, and please enjoy doing it. And that could also be a problem because you also then don't know how to stop. But always work in rest. Always work in a day of rest, where you either go to a friend and just have a nice cup of tea, make little breaks everywhere so that it's just to recuperate your body. And so that is a big nugget for me. And then know what you should take on and what you shouldn't take on. And you will soon enough know what you shouldn't take on, and then find a very good way to get out of that place quickly.
Right.
Became creative. I remember there's a young lady in our church who runs a creche, and the creches were closed for a long time. So she went and registered with Mr. Delivery, and she started to cook, and that tided her over. She began a business where she was cooking, and that actually fed her family and paid quite a few of their bills. And when schools reopened, she stayed there. So we all became creative in our thinking. I was thinking when I wrote my book, because my book was delivered to me right in the middle of COVID, right in the middle of COVID. And the original plan was, I'll go on a book tour. And there was no book tour. There was no book tour forthcoming. So I had to start. That's why I was laughing at you today. I was like, all of us, we have become radio, TV broadcasters and producers and actors and actresses. You know,
creative.
So we learned to think out of the box. And in thinking out of the box away. Yeah. So, you know, we thought out of the box and we actually improved. Yeah. Because one of the amazing things that God has enabled the human being to do is we have the ability to adapt and change situations and improve our methods. We're all here today because of adaptation. We've had to adapt over centuries of being alive, over millennia of being alive. And here we are today because, okay, someone said, instead of sitting down shivering, let me get an animal hide. Then from an animal hide, they started getting wool from sheep. From sheep wool, they started making nice clothes and cashmere. And here we are. You understand? So when life throws challenges at us, God has put in us the God-given ability to change our situation for the better, no matter how bad it is. It's an opportunity to change.
What I'm going to do now, I'm going to ask you, because we need to wrap up now. So I'm going to ask you here in closing to speak to the women for us. And, you know, whatever tips, nuggets, or anything that you've shared or want to still share, but I want you to speak to them directly in the camera.
Oh, okay.
Please.
Okay, so in closing, to all the women out there, embrace who you are. Embrace the scars that life has inflicted on you. Embrace where life is taking you. And I want you to decide today, after listening to my message, that you're beautiful, that you're courageous, confident, walk within the purpose that God has planned for us. Walk within your destiny, and only you can decide how life should treat you. As a woman, I can say I am blessed, and blessed to bless others. So I'm blessing you today to take charge of your life. Yes, life is not easy. Life will never be easy. And I don't know what life holds for me. But from here onwards, I believe that when you find your inner strength and you decide that I am a victorious woman, I will stand up for myself, and that life will treat me the way I need to be treated. So take this message from me. I've been through hell, but I've been in the heavenlies where I can say life is good. Thank you.
In closing, what tips or advice or anything, you know, whatever, anything you want to share with our viewers, especially women, and since it's Women's Month, and young girls?
Thank you again, Mama Kay. I'm good. I have so much to say, and I'm trying to figure out what is let me try and keep it brief. First of all, I like authentic people. So I want to suggest and potentially give people tips that you don't need to be who you are not, because who you are is beautiful. You're beautiful already in yourself. And I want to challenge a lot of women and young women who feel like they need to make themselves into something else so that they can be accepted, and they do change who they are, especially in public or professionally. I say your authentic self is enough. And if people cannot accept you for who you are, then they're not worth your time and they're not worthy to be in your life. So stay authentic as much as you can. If possible, I suggest people prefer and appreciate authentic people, because that's what they buy. People buy from people in business. People give to people. When a person notices that you're not real, that you are fake, then automatically they may stay your friend, but they will know that they cannot trust you for anything. So trust is built through authenticity. The second tip I want to suggest is passion. What's your passion? What do you care about? Because that's what's going to take you far. That's what's going to wake you up every morning, and that's going to get you up and ensure that you are successful in whatever you do. The reason why I have been able to turn around the company that I became the CEO in 2019 from under 10 million rands to almost close to 80 million in less than 3 years, 2 years, particularly in less than 3 years, is because I'm passionate about what I do. When I wake up in the morning, I want to change the world. I want to leave the world a better place, and I want to solve the problem of youth unemployment. I say to my team, you know, our big, hairy, audacious goal is to end youth unemployment in our lifetime, if not reduce it. And so the focus is really passion. If you're doing something that you're naturally passionate about, that you know that you cannot rest unless you see that this changes in your lifetime, then you will, then the right people will surround, which is my third tip to you, is social capital. People give to people. If you are hiding away, you are not creating the connections in an authentic way that is able to buy into your vision, your passion, whatever it is in the workplace, in a business sense, then who's going to support you? What we're lacking, that's how the Jewish nation built one of the most successful nations in the world. Go to America, come to South Africa, they hold the wealth of the countries that they have been in, because they understand the concept of networks and social capital. And so make those connections, put yourself out there, make friends, force yourself to engage in conversations and get to know people, of course, authentically in that direction, because you never know. Someone cell phone said that it takes 5 people, you know, you're 5 people away from your break. I think I'll stop there.
Wow, I hope you were inspired and empowered by those our 5 strong, amazing women: Dr. Lynette Jensen-Olarogun, Tertia Steynberg, Pastor Tolu George, Councillor Franchesca Walker, and Mrs. Onyinye Nwaneri, all doing amazing things in their communities, within their family, within their faith organization a lot. Kudos to you all. We celebrate you. So now we're going to go into something, you know, that we started last year. We called it the Gele-Doek Headwear Challenge, which is mainly celebrating women and the headwear. Gele is a word in Yoruba in Nigeria, which means headwear. And Doek is the word as well used in South Africa and other parts of Southern Africa, you know, from Zimbabwe to Malawi and so on. They use the word Doek, but everybody has their own language, you know, phrase that they call it, which is the headwear. So we recently had the finals. You know, on Saturday we had 7 finalists. So we're going to share with you some of our beautiful, amazing 7 finalists. And we had a very interesting conversation during the time with our judges, Miss Wageeda Leonard and Blackqueen Afrika. Thank you, my dear sisters, for your time, as always. So we want to just hear a few words as well from them. And we're going to hear a few words from 2 of the finalists, you know, as well, who were there. And they actually, one of them was she was third, and that's Pastor Phoebe Appies, and as well, she won our oldest finalist. So well done and kudos to you. And we are going to now as well listen to Portia Samuels, who was our contestant number 6. And she as well got consolation prizes for taking part. So we'll hear some of, their views about the headwear and just generally, celebrating women. So thank you and congratulations to our winners. Let me just acknowledge them while I'm at it. Our winner was Zandile Zeke, who was first. She looked beautiful. We'll share a picture. You'll see a picture as well. And in second position was Jennifer Quinana, who was actually our youngest, and she got her youngest prize as well. So well done, Jennifer. Well done, Zandile. And like I said earlier on, in third position was Pastor Phoebe, who we found out, during the finals that she was a passport. And she has one of those he for she men who actually is her husband that helps her, like she said, to tie the Duke or to make the Duke for her at home, which is awesome. Thank you, our men, like I said again, who support our women. So we'll be right back. Enjoy.
So now the next segment of what we're going to be doing is for me to have conversation with our judges. So I'll start with Blackqueen Afrika. So, Madam Blackqueen, what does headwear mean to you? And I see what you're wearing. So tell us what you're wearing. Tell us a little bit about it. And culturally, what does wearing an headwear mean to you as a woman?
Okay, the headwear I'm wearing now it's called a Gele. It's a Nigerian/Yoruba tribe kind of head wrap. This to me makes me feel more an African woman that I am, because it says to me that I can embrace any other African nationality. So not wearing a South African one for a change. Not that it means I don't like being South African or anything, but it means embracing more women, more being African, as I am so much passionate about being an African and I love being African. So yeah, this is a different style. As you can see the detail here, most South Africans cannot do this, and I'm proud to say I'm one of the few South Africans who can do it.
Very well done, my dear sister. Yeah, like I keep telling people, and for me, this is important as well to say, especially when I wear my Zulu hat, and I'm in Nigeria wearing my Zulu hat, and a lot of people are like, why you're Nigerian? I'm like, no, I'm Black and proud of being an African, and wherever I'm able as well to promote, the culture of whatever culture I love. If I want to promote Asian culture today, why not? So thank you. And we have a name for you, by the way. You were in Nigeria for the first time. Tell us about that, just quickly about your experience. So we've adopted you as our wife anyway, and you're called Ajoke, which is a Yoruba name. So tell us a little bit about your experience and maybe about some of the headwear you saw, the Gele. Yeah.
My Yoruba name is Ajoke, and my experience there was great. I just want to say that Nigerians, contrary to what we have always heard of or have always seen or what our perceptions are, they were very welcoming. What I noticed about them is that they love and respect someone from another country. more especially if you're from South Africa. I think it's because they know that most of their brothers and sisters are stay in this country. So they were very welcoming. They were very loving, and they were very helpful. I enjoyed the weather, humid one, different from ours, a bit warmer than ours, but not too bad. I could stay, you're lucky when you have a dark skin because you don't easily show.
Exactly.
So, yes, I enjoyed the weather, I enjoyed the food, I enjoyed the company. I loved it, and I'm going again soon in a few months. I'll be back there.
Oh, already? Oh, you've even been longer than me in the last 2 years.
Yes, I'm telling you, I will go there 3 times a year and leave you here in
Good
town.
for you. Good for you. So did you see a lot of our headwear, the Gele, when you were there?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Different ones. I ended up trying a lot of them. I went to places where they sell and make them and asked a lot of questions about how they did, because I knew this competition was coming. So I had to get myself prepared. And when I told them about this challenge, they were so excited about it. They said, "Wow, you're even embracing our own Gele in South Africa." I said, "Yes." So yeah, it was really exciting, but I've learned a lot about the head wraps and how different ones are done.
No, you look beautiful in it. So now let's come back to South Africa. We saw some of our contestants there, especially our finalist one, Sindiswa and Jennifer, and even Zandile, with what they're wearing. Can you tell us a little bit more about that particular Duke, that they were wearing, and why is it called Duke? Is Duke a name, from a particular tribe, or is it just a name that South Africans have embraced as, their name for the headwear?
Duke is a name that South Africans embrace as a headwear, but in Xhosa, which is my language and my culture, we call it Ikia. But now, yes, to accommodate you, because Xhosa has a lot of borrowed words, which Duke, I think, is from Africans, I stand to be corrected. So Duke is not a Xhosa word, but it's used universal in South Africa. Everyone in South Africa uses Duke, more especially in Cape Town, because we have mixed races. So the ones that our contestants are wearing represents more of this Xhosa culture. I don't know what their culture and languages are, but judging from their names, I think they're all Xhosas. So what they had there represents more Xhosa. And most of those that they have, it's mostly used when there's different occasions. Like, for instance, there's a traditional feast, or it's a wedding, or that kind of thing. Nobody represented in the contestants, nobody represented just a normal, usual one for a wife sitting at home. Most what they have there is what most women would use when they are going to a special traditional occasion, but they all traditionally linked. It's not just a usual one.
Okay, well, thank you. So, Ms. Leonard, we've shared, your feedback on some of the, headwear that you're seeing. So tell us a little bit about your own. And I know, you've mentioned the fact that most of them, they're about the Islamic faith. And obviously, I don't want to assume, because I know you anyway, that you are a Muslim lady, a woman of faith, very strong in our faith. And so tell us, why do women wear hijab, and what are you wearing? What's it about? And you mentioned some tips there with some of the ones that I've worn. So share with us.
Okay. Last year I was a guest at the Gele show competition last year. So I got this as a gift from Kimi Adebayo. So I think it is a cap with it's more like a cap thingy. This was actually on this side this morning, so I just cut it off and put it at the back because it was more to it was all in my face, so I didn't want it there, so I just cut it off and just put it in.
Okay. I didn't even realize that was what it was. I didn't realize it was that. So you look beautiful. And it just shows you as well that, you can turn things around the way you want it. It depends on what you're comfortable with. So why do Muslim women, is there a reason, why they wear hijab, as well. Because I know in the Christian faith, when we go to church, and I think it started like that as well, women have to cover their hair all the time, and then when you go to church, for prayers, you normally can't go in without your head covered. You need to have your head covered. Although the modern churches nowadays, they're very flexible, because our women, most of the time we struggle, with me, like me now. I'm like, ooh. So is it compulsory as well, in the Islamic faith?
Yeah. No. Yes, you are quite right there, Kemi. When you go into the mosque, you need to have your hijab. It's part of the religion and it's part of the culture. The hair must be covered at all times. If the hair is out, then it's part of your aura. They call it aura.
Okay.
Yes. So when you are married, you need to cover all these things. But today the modern women, they will do regularly with the hair coming out. But we are in the Western world.
So, Miss Phoebe, please, if you could unmute yourself. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, ladies.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
There's something that I didn't let you in on. I'm also a pastor, and the secret behind my Doek is my husband. He's the one that does my Doek for me. When I saw the competition, he said to me, I'm going to, because I needed to have 2 photos, because last year I went to an event where he did a Doek. And then I had to add 2 photos, and he decided that he's going to do that one as well. And so, yeah, I'm very grateful to be part, because I'm so excited to see different women, with this, because it is not about, it's about, not about myself, but it's about, I always support cultures, When I go to African cuisine or something, I will always wear a Doek. When I go to a Muslim event, I will put on a Doek, So I'm really proud to be part of this Doek, and I'm not actually a Doek person, but now lately I'm wearing Doek, because it is part of our culture. Because we Africans as well, So thank you that I could be part of this competition.
Oh, thank you. Finally, 6, Portia Samuels. Please, anything as well you want to say. Unmute yourself and let's hear your voice.
Did I?
You did.
That's my beloved brother that always helps me with all the technical challenges.
I salute you, brother. Okay.
Thank you. Yes, I just want to say to everybody, the times we are living in are so sad and depressing that if we can do something exciting, it's not about the winning, but it's about taking part and being so well supported, and saying thank you to everybody who is rooting for you, and even those who aren't, it's okay, because we can't all be winners. So well done to all of us.
Wow, thank you.
Interesting. I just so amazed with all this powerful, lovely, beautiful, strong women who basically inspire me and push me to do more. Thank you all for your time. Thank you all for what you do in the communities. And we just celebrate you, our young girls as well, who are growing up to be beautiful women, courageous, brave, strong, and a lot of other things. Thank you for all you are. We'll keep celebrating our women. It's not just about celebrating women in the August month for us at Bold Moves, and we will continue to celebrate our women through Impact Africa and our activities as well as Bold Moves. So, I want to just give you the next kind of snippet about what we're doing for September. So September is the month of heritage. So we're going to be celebrating different cultures and heritage from South Africa and other people who are not necessarily from South Africa but live, work or study in South Africa. So South Africa is known to be a rainbow country, and we just thank all our people, for what they're doing. We'll be right back. Okay, well, we had some interruption there earlier, but it's all good. So till next time, I hope you've enjoyed us celebrating women in South Africa and our men as well who support women in South Africa. So the saying is, you strike a woman, you strike a rock. Us women, we're just so good. We're just so beautiful. We're just so strong. We're just so brave. We could be crying or smiling, and meanwhile there's a lot going on inside of us. So I celebrate you all, my sisters. I see you all. God will keep uplifting you. Please keep going. Keep on keeping on. Never give up. Keep believing in yourself. You are worthy. You are beautiful. You are majestic. You have been wonderfully made by God. So I celebrate you all, women in South Africa and women all over the world. Thank you for being my sister. Thank you for being my mother. Thank you for being my aunt. Thank you for being my friend. Till next time, this is Mama K signing off, saying stay safe, stay blessed, stay prayerful. God loves you and I love you too.